Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel here at Monorail Princess. So today we're going to be talking about what I pack in my Disney makeup bag. So what do I take when I travel to Walt Disney World, and what do I wear when I'm in the parks? Now the biggest thing to remember here is if you follow any Disney Instagram or anybody local, the best thing to note there is that usually those people stay only about a couple hours and then leave. So if you're worried about your makeup running off, don't worry about it. You're there to have fun. So before we start, I just wanted to throw that little disclaimer in there. But without further ado, we will begin. So this is the bag that I take. This was from the Lily for Target sale. It's already been like 5 years ago. I don't even know how. You blink and it's gone. This is already getting a little bit small for what I take, just with brushes and everything. So I think I'm gonna splurge on my next one and get something bigger. But for now, I will show you what I take with me. So it's important to note that I did throw in some optional things for you guys, a little bit of drugstore and a little bit of high end. Depends just on your preference. You can use either one. I happen to love a Rimmel, I think it's the Rimmel 25 hour wear. That's also really good. I have not tested it in the park though, so I can't speak for that, but it is great around Michigan weather. So we'll start with base first. So I like to use the All-Nighter from Urban Decay. The shade is in 3.25. I think that it doesn't run. I mean, it's gonna look, after like, 8 hours, everybody looks like sweaty as all get out, but that's beside the point. They do have a really good primer. I tested it one time. I think I combined it with something else super weird and it never worked for me, but I have heard that's good as well if you're into primer. I do have a Rimmel primer here that I have tested and I do really like. It's the Rimmel Stay Matte. It's like $5-6 at Target. It's really good, and it does keep your makeup nice and matte, so if you would like a drugstore option, or you can go for the more expensive Urban Decay one, but this is just the face base. I do take, it is important to note, a couple of different foundations because my skin does tend to get a little bit temperamental once down there, since the climate is different obviously from Michigan weather. The other one I go with is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting. This is the foundation and concealer one in the shade Alabaster, so it's a cool neutral shade. I also have taken the, I don't have it with me because I ran out and I need to repurchase it, the Urban Decay Naked. That is great and beautiful and might be my favorite more so than the All-Nighter, but the All-Nighter is great as well. So moving on from there, let's hop on into concealers. And it is a mess, just like it would be at the parks. So I have two options for you here. The first one I'll talk about is the Tarte Shape Tape. This has been a cult classic for many, many years from a lot of YouTubers and the beauty community in general. My shade is Fairlight Neutral. I like this. The only thing I do know, and I know that other people have had this complaint before, is that it does sometimes dry out your under eyes. So that is something important to note. If you already have a little bit of issue with that, I may suggest going for something a little bit more hydrating like a NARS. The NARS Creamy Concealer to be exact. Let me see if I can grab the other one. Oh, I see it. It slipped into the bottom of my bag, guys. NYX. So NYX is also a really great drugstore alternative to high-end. They have great foundations, great powders, great everything. And the lipstick I'm actually wearing today is actually from them. This is the HD Studio Photogenic one in CW02. I can't remember the name of it. I got on Ulta's website. But this is really good. That's what I have underneath my under eyes today. I sometimes prefer this to the Tarte Shape Tape just because it is a little bit lighter. The other one that's good is the Can't Stop, Won't Stop, and I have that one upstairs, not with me, but both are great, good alternatives if you don't want to splurge and go for a higher end concealer. Moving on from there, a couple of different powders. I don't have any drugstore with me, though I do like the Maybelline Fit Me one, and that's really about it. I don't really, unfortunately, have a lot of drugstore favorites for powder, but my favorites that I am going to talk about today are, number one, the Charlotte Tilbury in the Flawless Finish powder. I use this strictly on my under eyes. I do not use it anywhere else because I've found that on my skin in particular, it doesn't set very well, and I noticed that it kind of doesn't really keep my oils at bay. So anywhere I put concealer, I do set it. Mostly that's just my under eyes, sometimes a little bit of my chin and my nose area. But as you can see, it is well loved. This is in the shade Fair, and this is really good. You can get this at Sephora or at like a local Charlotte Tilbury counter. The other one I like to use for all over, and I've used it for years, probably since I was 14, is the Clinique Stay Matte Sheer Press Powder. This one is in the Invisible Matte. They recently came out with this over the past few years. Otherwise, I used to use like Stay Buff was the shade that I used forever, and I put it all over if you are into putting it. Sometimes it depends on my mood, sometimes I want to, sometimes I don't, depending on the day. You will sweat it off anyway, so just depends on your personal preference. So moving on from there, we will go on to bronzers. So I recently got this one from MAC. This is in the shade Refined Golden. It is great. It's currently what I have on today underneath, well, on top of the other product that I will show you, which is by Nude Sticks, and it is their cream bronzer in the shade Bondi Bay. And it comes in like a little tube like this, and you can use the bottom one, which as you can see, I definitely do. I need to clean the bottom of it. Clean my brushes, forgot to clean that. You know how it goes. So typically sometimes too, if you want your makeup to last a little bit longer, you'll put a cream product on underneath and then set it over top with the powder. So in this case, I used the Bondi Bay this afternoon, and then I put this powder on top of it. Great, looks flawless, great, doesn't move. Moving on from there, we'll get into blush. Oh, it's stuck. Okay. Sorry guys. As I just dropped that in the floor. Oh well. Okay. The next is this blush kit from Morphe. This may look a little excessive and a little large, but hear me out. You may not do, or if you do, you girl, whatever you choose, to do the same makeup look every single day that you're in the parks. Sometimes you want to, sometimes I want to be a little bold and I want to play around with color. Most times we don't, or I'll go for a more golden look, kind of like what I went to today. But you'll need to kind of vary up your blushes. So I like this kit from Morphe. It is the 8C in Cool Pro. All of these shades are great. These are the ones that I probably use the most, these upper ones. These are a little bit too darker tones, but they would be pretty, probably as like a bronzer topper. And this one for me, because I am quite fair, or in these two, you could even use those as an eyeshadow shade. But I do like this because it does give me options to change my look up throughout my stay at the parks. The other option I have in here is you can always get the, they have them at Sephora, and you can do little samples of tinier bronzers. They have like the Orgasm one sometimes occasionally, or if you just look at travel size ones, they will come in tinier kits. They even have I know NARS does a Laguna and an Orgasm bronzer duo combo that is cool. It's like a mini one for travel size, so if you want to do that to save on space, you're more than welcome to do so. I love that one as well. Moving on from there, let's see what else we got in here, guys. Okay, highlighter. We'll just do all face stuff first. So there's also two options for this as well. I have a mini one, which I've used before, which is the Disney Diners Designer Collection. Designer, can't talk today. Collection in the shade Coronation. This is great. It's beautiful. Looks wonderful on your skin. Use that one. And this is by ColourPop, if you guys did not know. They still have some pieces, I believe, on Ulta, and they did have some on Disney, but they just sold them out. This is like my holy grail. I love it. I use it every single day at home, and I used it every single day in the parks. This is the Makeup Revolution, and this is drugstore, by the way. You can get this at Ulta. Soph X Highlighter Palette. You guys, if you don't have this, stop this video now and go and buy it and put it in your cart at Ulta. It is great. All of the shades in here are great. They are super shiny, super smooth. Your skin looks great. I tried this. I was using the pinky tone today. Beautiful. I mean, like, you look like a glowy goddess when you use this, and it's like 15 bucks. You can't beat that. There are more expensive highlighters. I do have the one from the Aladdin collection that I sometimes use with me, but if it's a limited edition collection, sometimes you don't want to take it with you because you don't want to lose it on your trip, just in case your luggage or anything gets lost. But I will stop my rambling on highlighters for now, and we'll move on to eyes. So for eyes, I like to, and it depends on your personal preference, always have an eyeshadow primer. My eyelids are oily, so if I do not have this, they're gonna start to goop and kind of gunk up and crease throughout the day. And I don't know about you, but I don't like that look. So I use the NARS eyeshadow, smudge proof eyeshadow base in the, I know they came out with colors of this. I have not tried those. This is just the clear, I'll show you guys, this clear white one. That's what I use today. I use it every single day, my fave. Moving on from there, let's get into eyes. So I did bring a couple of different options. One of them is one that I did take on my trip when I went in September. So if you see, a lot of my Batu shots are using this. Also does this really cool thing where they, with Buxom, where you can get 6 eyeshadows for $40. I've never seen it not for that promotional thing, even though they tell you it's like a limited time type of deal. Never seen it not on the website or not in store. So just bear that in mind. You can do this pretty much anytime you want. And they come with this little case, and you can go on the website or you can go in store, and you can pick out your shades and then you drop them in. You pull this right here. I'll show you guys. Oh, if I can get it open. Yeah, here you go. You pop this out and then you drop the individual shadows in. They have a lot to choose from. I did like this. This wore beautifully. As you can tell, I am a fan of cool tones. I use this for my more neutral days before we left, and then the purple kind of as a kind of smoky eye night look. So that is one option. This, so like I said, this is 6 for $40, and it does come in this, you don't pay any extra for the case. So that's one option for you. The other is ColourPop. ColourPop is a great brand, cheaper alternative to designer, and their eyeshadows are legit. I'm sure you guys already know that, and you may have already owned like 15 different palettes like I do, but just letting you know. I did not use this when I was in Florida, but I have tested it out around my house. You guys, if you like cool tones and grays and silvers, you need to go and put it in your cart now. I did get this direct from ColourPop. I know with the current situation with California and everyone with the stay-at-home orders, they are not fulfilling any orders directly right now. I know because I have the Mulan collection in my cart. Well, I paid for it. It's been delayed because they're considered non-essential business, so they haven't been able to ship anybody's orders. I got this before. This was like January purchase. So when they do open up again, you can do that. I think sometimes they have these at Ulta, but they only have limited selection on the palettes. I know they have a couple of ones like this. This is actually in like plastic packaging. A lot of the ones I've had before, like the Kathleen Lights ones, and those were cardboard. It doesn't really matter. I've never had an issue with any of their palettes breaking or anything on me, and I've used all of them to death. So that's another option, another brand for you. That's a cheaper alternative, and that was like 12 bucks. Yeah, 12 bucks, guys. And the last one I will give you for eyeshadow is MAC. So MAC has been around obviously since like the dawn of time, but you can go on their website and get the little singular shadows, I think for like 9 bucks, which I just did not that long ago because I didn't have anything. I needed to stock up on some items. And I bought this bigger one because you can actually put, they have one specifically if you want just like a smaller one, like a 4 quad or something like that, whatever your personal preference is. I bought this one because I thought if I wanted to go, MAC blushes are really great, MAC Melba, and there's a couple other ones. I used to use the one in Dame, though I think they might have discontinued that one. You can put them in here as well. Push your eyeshadows to the side. And then that way you have it all in one little case and you don't have a bunch of stuff sliding around like I do today. So these are the shades I have here. A lot of times when I go for 2 looks when I'm in Florida. I go for a smoky eye look because it looks good pretty much throughout the whole day with a red lip. That's just my jam. Maybe not be yours, but hey. Or golden eye. Golden eye looks really good in the sunlight. Shadows, you can dark it up for night depending on what you want to do. Put some more like on your under eyes. That's my personal preference when I go. So those are what I did with these. Will I take this when I go again this year? If Disney World opens up again this year? Not sure, only time will tell. When I do a packing video, I'll let you guys know. So those are my suggestion for eyeshadows. Those, I know they've worked, longevity wise is great. End of story there. Now let's move on to eyebrows. Oh wait, what am I saying? I totally forgot about mascara and eyeliner. So, eyeliner. As you can tell, I like a big wing. I feel naked without a big wing. I try to do a natural look, I don't have a wing, I'm like, I gotta add a wing. So let me show you what I like to use. I like the Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof liquid eyeliner. I've also used the KVD one. The NYX one is a good drugstore alternative. I think that's the Eyeliner. It's like their most popular one. You can't miss it. If you look on Ulta or Target's website or anywhere that sells their products, you can find it. I like this one. This retails, I think, like 22, 26 bucks, like somewhere in that range. I really like this one. I find that it lasts super, super well, and I did take it when I went in September. The other thing that is good to have is a white eyeliner. So if you're really tired because you stayed up for EMH the night before, you can put this in your waterline. It makes you look a little bit more awake. The other thing I like to have with me is to have eyeliners. I do have, and in the past I've used Urban Decay ones, so the black one and the brown one, the Perversion. I cannot remember the name of the brown one I have. And I'm out of it, and I just restocked it, but it has not arrived to my house yet. Otherwise, I would have put it in this video. I'll link it below, though. This is the Dose of Colors Caviar Eyeliner. I like this as well. I like this for tight lining underneath my upper lashes. Works great for that. Love it. And that's my eyeliners. And then going on to mascara. So I have a couple. I like the Too Faced better than Sex one. That one actually dried up and just shriveled up, and it was old, guys. I had to throw it away this morning. So I like that one. That's a great option. I also like the Lash Sensational in Luscious. This one is great. Drugstore, I believe it's like 8 bucks. It has to be the Luscious version. I have tried the other one, the pink one, just the regular Lash Sensational. For my lashes, it doesn't hold a curl. So I've never understood the hype. But then I found this one, and this is a newer one. And I love this. It's great. It's what I have on today with a little bit of this underneath, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black. A lot of times I like this if I don't really feel like doing a big heavy eye. Let's say I've gone to the pool for the day and I just want a little bit of makeup on when I go out in case we want to take up close pictures at night. You can wear no makeup. You can wear makeup when you go back. No judgment. But this is what I like to use. It's not as intense. It does lengthen them, and sometimes I will put it just on my under eyes because it has a very tiny, I'll show you, a very tiny wand, and it gets to fine little hairs. I'm telling you guys it works. So that is eyes. Now we'll move on to eyebrows. I have a couple of different options there that I have done. This is the Brow Wiz by Anastasia. I have not tried any real drugstore brands, though I've heard the NYX ones are brilliant. I don't doubt that. I love NYX as a brand. And it comes with a little spoolie on the end and then the pencil on the other end. This is in the shade Soft Brown. I use in all of Anastasia's products, I am the shade Soft Brown. So if you have brows similar to mine, that is your color. I also have I forgot to throw it in here, and I did, oh well, is the little brow pomades. It is the little pots. I like those, and then you can put like a little spoolie on the end and run your hair through, sorry guys. You can run the brush through, kind of brush up your brows, and then just fill in where you are. I did both today on mine. Sometimes I don't feel like dealing with it. Sometimes a pencil just drives me nuts and I just want to do the brow pomade because sometimes it's faster. It's all personal preference. I have used the brow powder before. All of them are great. Overall, I would recommend Anastasia as a great brand for brow products. Moving on from there, I also have dabbled in, but I don't always use this, like their tinted brow gels. So if you have brows that kind of just fall throughout the day or they get kind of gunky, they do have this in a clear. I have not used the clear. I've only used the tinted one. It's okay. It's not my favorite. For me personally, I don't see that big of a difference. Maybe you do. I don't know. It's not like a must-have for me, but I figured I'd throw it in there if you guys are looking for that option. And that's in the shade Brunette. These are harder to nail down if you want like your brow color. These are much more difficult. Moving on from there, let's talk about the lip products I use. So I have a couple here. Like I said, guys, this is why I need to invest in a different bag, because they have fallen all over the place. Okay, first one is Huda Beauty. I use this a ton in Batu. It's in the color Showgirl. It is a liquid matte, but it is that metallic shade. It's gorgeous. Like this, just looking at this doesn't even do it justice. It's wonderful. Yeah, I wore it in pretty much all of my Batu vlogs. The other one is this Super Stay Matte Ink by Maybelline. This is also a good drugstore alternative for a good red if you were looking for one. Does not move. I mean, like, you literally have to scrub it off your lips. Does not move. I'm serious. The other good one that's nice if you want kind of just a little something more toned down is this Powder Puff Lippy from NYX. Told you I was a fan of NYX. Wasn't lying. And this has a little pillow top type shade. That thing. I tend to go for more glosses. I also like Lime Crime's red. Their lipsticks are great. They don't move at all throughout the day. Seriously, you guys, I go for stuff that's in a tube or something like that. Nothing lipstick wise, because if you do want to take it and reapply throughout the day, if it does fade, it's gonna melt in your backpack or whatever your choice is. So I don't really recommend lipsticks. If you want to do it like back at your hotel, totally cool. Otherwise your tube is going to melt. Trust me from someone who knows. I accidentally left a MAC one in there one time. It was melted. I was devastated. Now that I've shown you everything that I put on my face, what do I use to put it on my face? Well, let me get into that. So, for an overall powder brush, I like this one from e.l.f. It's the e.l.f. Total Face Brush. It's cheap. You're gonna find that I don't really go for expensive brushes. Not really my jam, guys, not really my thing. I have a couple of cosmetics ones, but for the most part, I think you can get great brushes at the drugstore and you don't need to splurge on that. I love the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It's been around for years. This is just their updated color they did a few years ago. Love it. It's what I use every single day. I'm not a sponge girl. I have a sponge for bronzers and things like that, but it's not really what I enjoy using. I much prefer a brush, so I like these. The other thing I'm going to show you, this was a limited Funko Pop brush that was, they did like different Disney villains. This is a great brush, though it was limited edition. Sonia Kashuk at Target has really nice blush brushes, and so does Real Techniques. Moving on from there, I like this one. This one does come in a kit. You cannot buy this separately. Real Techniques, if you're watching, please put this in a separate kit because it is a pain to have to buy the entire large kit in order to get this tiny little brush. So this is the setting brush. I like this for highlighter. I used it today. Excuse me. It is perfectly fits along the apples of your cheek, and you're not using those annoying fan brushes because nobody likes those and they kind of get in the way. And let me show you guys what else I have. Let me set this to the side. This, okay. So I'm put this in a cup. Normally I would have it in a Ziploc bag inside there. Like I said, guys, I'm running out of room in that bag. Need a different one. This is the Sephora Pro Flawless Brush. I got this suggestion from Jessica Braun. She used to be Jam Beauty, but she's now Jessica Braun. She's great. Follow her. She does, her husband Tyler does Tyler Travels TV, and he also owns his own travel company. Go check them out. I'll link her down below. This is the Sephora Pro Flawless Brush, like I was saying, and it's number 56. This I use for concealer. Wonderful. You can also use sponges. I use a Real Techniques sponge. Sometimes I alternate between them. This powder brush is what I use. This is the number 55 Pro Airbrush. I use this to put my powder on underneath on my chin. This is just my concealer brush. That was weird. My camera just randomly turned off. Okay, so yes. Oh, this is the other Sonia Kashuk brush I was telling you guys about. For bronzer, I use their powder face brush. This is also another Real Techniques powder brush. I like it because I can just do and throw it on really fast. I don't have to wait in the morning because sometimes you're in a rush. Eyelash curler, this is just the Tweezerman one. I want to get the Shiseido one. I have not purchased it. It is on my list to buy. I also like to take a lash comb to comb through them because sometimes they get a little bit tangly and jumbly after you've put all of your mascara on. It's just nice to clean through the clumps. Next part I'm going to show you. Eyeshadow brushes. So I like Morphe. They're my personal favorite. They're at Ulta. You can also order direct from them. Wonderful. I like this for just general, wherever. This is the M518. I do like the e.l.f. brushes as well. See, I told you guys, all drugstore. I don't see a number. Oh, 201. I like this. It's in the clear one. It's great for just packing on the tops of your lids. Again, another one by Morphe. This is the Morphe 4433. And then a tiny one from Real Techniques that I like to use is their smudger brush. I like to use that for underneath my eyes to kind of get that eyeshadow right up to the waterline. That's those. The only other tool that I can think of that I have not shared with you guys is the Vera Mona color switch, and I will grab this. So as you can tell, this is a new one. I bought myself a new one. What this does is you don't have to take, because you're like, that wasn't a heck of a lot of eyeshadow brushes, and she said she flips between the two. Normally I have more than that. Those are just my basic ones that I carry. But if you don't want to splurge, you don't want to do any kind of, you know, other things going on, you can purchase this mini color switch from Sephora. It's perfect for travel, and what it basically does is you put your eyeshadow brush in here and you just wipe it off, and you can instantly change the color. Doesn't take the color off your brush. You will still have to wash them. I know, it's sad. But you can get the color off, and you don't have to worry about, you know, mixing things or destroying your eyeshadow palettes. It's great. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And I use in my kit and in my travel collection when I go to Walt Disney World. So, without further ado, guys, hit that subscribe button, like it. It really helps me out. And if you liked it, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what your guys's are. Oh, shoot, before I forget. Bonus item, setting sprays. I have used the Eyeliner. I'm gonna tell you, I haven't seen that big of a difference. I know a lot of people swear that you do. I'm kind of on the setting sprays, but that's another option in case you're looking for one. The Urban Decay ones are super cheap, 15 bucks. NYX also has ones for like $8 or $10. Both really good alternatives. Like I said, not my personal preference. You're gonna sweat anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if it makes you feel better and you see a difference, you do you, girl, you add it. But I'm gonna end it here, and then I'm gonna follow back with some more videos. And let me know if there's anything else you guys wanna see in particular. I'll let you guys know when we do fast passes. I did book dining, but who knows with what the current state of affairs at Walt Disney World are, if we're even gonna go this year. But anyway, I will do a video when we do that. I'll do a live when we did the fast pass. I tried to do it dining. Was a mess. Let's not even get into that. But I will say bye for now. And like and subscribe as always. And I'll check you guys later. Bye.